She took the midnight train she used to see that boy, born and raised right here in Houston.
Where's my lighter?
Okay. Okay, the phone light.
Yeah, I'm looking for my flashlight now.
Hey. Uh-huh.
Oh, this song is really hip.
Hello, everyone. How are you tonight? Today is Trans Day of Visibility. And, you know, it's a weird Trans Day of Visibility because most of us is quarantined in our house, stuck in isolation, maybe not visible today. Also in Idaho, the governor signed two bills, two anti-trans bills. One to restrict trans from participating in sports. The other preventing trans people from getting their gender identity changed on their birth certificate. So to some of you, and some of you may have been affected by the coronavirus, either by work, you know a friend that's maybe battling coronavirus, or even you could be immune compromised and you're living in fear, or you could have a family. It's just a weird time right now, and there's weird energy going around. I have to be honest, I was kind of depressed. I kind of didn't want to do this, but I had a commitment to go live. And so I decided to carry on. And today is Trans Day of Visibility, so I'm going to be visible, honey. And that being said, if you're wondering who's next to me, Ixchel, who is a powerhouse in our community. They are the founder of the Decolonization Project here in Sacramento. Decolonization Project does a lot of work around indigenous work and just decolonizing our brains, you know, because we all colonize. We all think through the lens of colonization. And so my friend here works to undo the programming that we all have, kind of taking the blinders off. And so they are here to share and give you some love, and also teach you about herbs and how they could support your well-being. And also, they're going to give us an oracle reading later. So be in the comments. Let us know what you need. So they will be checking the comments. And so I would like to welcome you, Ixchel. Actually, and also, if you're wondering where I am deep, 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 deep coming to you from the barracks, deep down in Del Paso Heights, Sacramento, California, barricaded up in my house for 25 days now. You know, a girl's, but I ain't arguing about that. You know, self-isolation works for me. As long as we can do this, that's fine. And as long as I can ride my bike, I'm okay. Anyway, welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Ebony. So coming from the deep, deep South Oak Park, in my barricade on the other side of town. I wanted to start out thinking and honoring the ancestors of the land, especially just considering the space that we are in right now. Of course, I think being sheltering or quarantined, however we want to look at it, there's so much time for reflection, and I've had a lot of time in my yard. I'm privileged to have the yard, but yeah, just to sit there and look at the land that is so fertile here. Things grow really easily, and knowing that it's the land, I owe this fertile land to the stewardship of the Miwok, Patwin, potentially Nishinan people, and Maidu, for their caretaking of the land. So I want to honor the ancestors, elders, and emerging youth of these Native peoples. Yeah, I thank you, Ebony, for asking me to come on and talk about herbs. I had some time to reflect upon it as I thought about how many herbs I've killed and how many herbs I'm currently trying to grow. And this year I decided to start from seeds because it's a lot easier to just buy the plant and then put it in the ground. But it takes an extra step, several steps to bring up seedlings. And it's just really made me think about how right now we are all sort of these seeds, right? In our houses, and we can take this time to help ourselves grow, to just gain nutrients from what we have around us, right? And also becoming aware of this larger system that we're all connected to. So yeah, I've been sitting in the garden. My cheeks are a little red because the sun. But yeah, I wanted to actually also talk about herbs that can potentially boost your immune system. Of course, this is not medical advice. Warning caption, I'm not a medical expert or in medicine, but some herbs have been traditionally used in of these practices come down, at least from my great grandmother's teachings to my mom, particularly the use of garlic, eating just a bulb in the morning. It's not the most delicious thing, and it can make your breath really stink, but it definitely helps with your immune system. And some herbs that you can use also are lemon balm to make into a tea. It's really delicious with hibiscus. Chamomile for sleep and anxiety. And that grows really well here.
Chamomile.
Yeah.
For sleep and anxiety.
Yes.
Do you know how it works? Like, how does it reduce?
I have no idea how it works.
How do you use it? Do you boil it?
Oh, you just put it into a tea.
Oh, okay.
You put it in water and you boil it. Same thing with lemon balm.
Okay.
So, and then turmeric. Turmeric is actually good for once you're sick. Oh. You mix it with honey, and that will help with like a sore throat.
I heard it's the swelling reducer, like it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and it also helps with pain, like joint pain.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. And then a local
question: can you buy these in supplements?
You can,
but you don't recommend supplements. Okay.
I personally don't.
Okay.
I mean, it's a good. I think any way that you can take it, but I like building a relationship with the plant. So I have a chamomile. Well, had and then it died, and now I have a new one. But really taking the time to build the relationship with your plant, because I think something that we have lost, and this is really tied to decolonizing, is really creating relationships with other living beings.
Yeah.
And, you know, I talk to my plants very stereotypically.
I talk to plants too.
Yeah, and right now with my little seedlings, I'm like, hi, babies.
And I say, I love you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, all we are, this whole thing, this whole planet, all it is energy and matter. And so
Yes.
I try to transfer positive energy to my plants as well. So,
Yeah, that's where I'm at, really sending that energy. And there's also plants like locally that grow. The one that I've started to build a relationship with is California mugwort. It actually grows next to the American River, so you could find it. It's not in season right now, but I think it comes out like in May.
what is it?
And it's like
Okay.
yeah, it's like a stem with some leaves that come out this way, and then there's sometimes little flowers.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and that helps with colds and flus as well.
Oh, wow. Boil,
Yeah, it was used.
do you boil it?
Boil it in tea.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a traditional medicinal plant for the native people here. So it's really common. It'll grow really easy. So the great part about taking traditional plants that native people around here used is that they will grow very easily because they are meant to
Right.
grow here.
Yeah.
So yes, they grow really easy, and it helps with flu. And right now would be a good time to try to find some seeds, although I don't know where you can find seeds. I'm sure at a California native plant store or nursery.
Or could you order online?
I think so. Yeah, maybe. I know that the nursery here in Oak Park was open 2 weeks ago, but I don't know if they still are.
I think you can order herbs online.
Yeah.
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 Also, I wanted are you still giving us herbs?
I have more, but let's. I mean, I could just keep
No.
going like
I want to hear
blah
more.
blah
I
blah.
want to hear about more herbs. Really. Yeah.
Well, there's also rosemary. So I was thinking now more in terms of like cleansing spaces.
Mm,
And I was trying to think of things that we might already have in our pantry if we like to cook. And rosemary, you can burn some of that. Bay leaf is good for burning, smudging, really.
could you?
Um,
Some people don't know what smudging is. Could you explain to them what smudging is?
Smudging is the clearing of energy in a space. So you burn the herbs, or you have what's called a smudge stick, which you make like a bundle of a single herb or several herbs, and you just use it to clean a space or yourself, your energies around you. And they're usually aromatic, which means they smell good. And so yeah, I was trying to think of things that grow locally. Also, we have some kind of pine trees around. You could always cut some of those pine, or it's better to collect it from the ground. Like whatever you find is collected on the ground. So it's this reciprocal relationship and thanking the plants and all that. Pine needles, tree sap. So copal is traditionally used in the area we now call Mexico, Guatemala, El Salvador, and they use tree sap.
Mm.
And there's tree sap here too that it has a different smell and different color and texture. But you could take it from the trees locally. I don't recommend cutting into the tree because I feel like that hurts the tree. But if you find that it's collecting on the outside, or maybe making a small hole so that it drips a little bit and dries,
Mm-hmm.
and then maybe grabbing a stick
Mm-hmm.
and then scraping it off.
Mm.
So that works really well. And it's so, I don't know if it's my ancestors, but I just find it so enticing. It says, like, in the Popol Vuh, it says that the spirits, the they call them gods, right? But
Yeah.
I don't think they're quite deities, but that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
They would get basically like mesmerized by the smell, and
Oh,
I get that same feeling.
wow. Somebody just comment pine pitch. What Kelly just said pine pitch. Do you know about pine pitch? Or
I
rue?
don't know what pine pitch is.
Rue? Uh,
Rue is the type of plant, yes, and it's an herb.
mm.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, James. Hi, Kelly. Hey, Ronnie. Hey, Denise. Okay. I want to shout them out.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. I'm listening. I'm like a big kid. I'm learning. Okay.
And then, of course, everybody knows about white sage, or a lot of people know about white sage, and it's best to grow it at home, just because wild white sage is being deforested because of just over harvesting.
Mm.
So I like to grow a plant at home, and I don't know if anyone else does this technique, and I don't know what technique is best, but I just let the leaves dry off,
Mm.
and then I pick them, and then I wait for new ones to come out again, and then I do the same thing.
Mm. Wow.
Yeah, but that's what I wanted to share in terms of herbs. I don't want it to be too nerdy, lectury.
I bet a couple of nerds are watching right now and they're like, you're speaking my herb language. Some people like a different type of herb. Now, we'll be talking about that next week about medicinal use for, to soothe the calm for these times. So I'm going to have a medicinal expert that can tell us what's what for what's what. But I really appreciate sharing with us about these herbs. There's some sap downstairs. I'm about to get me some sap. It's already coming out the tree. I don't have to cut the tree.
Yeah, it's nice.
Also, I wanted to talk about being empathic in these days and times, and feeling such heavy energy. A lot of people are feeling heavy, particularly today. Is
Mm-hmm.
a heavy spiritual day. It's today feels so heavy for a lot of people. And as a spiritual person, I want to know if you have any advice for people, like what's been working for you on heavy days. What kind of spiritual practices work for you on heavy days? Do you have a spiritual practice? Could you? Is there a prayer? Maybe we can have a prayer too before we leave to help people. You know, prayer works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, today I agree. Today has been um, heavy. I think heavy is the right word. And oddly enough, it was a super sunny day. So it was a strange feeling. I feel like usually heavier days tend to be a little cloudier, a little darker outside. But I usually like to go on a walk.
Mm.
I grab my bike. I like to move because I get the sensation of this urge to like go. And sometimes I don't have anywhere to go, like today. And I said, okay, I'm going to put on my headphones and just start walking. And I listened to music and I was walking and really focusing on staying with the beat of the music. I also think there's just a heaviness because there's so much uncertainty. We don't know what's going to happen. We keep hearing contradictory information from one source to the next. So I have decided that I will listen to, I have a habit in the morning of listening to Democracy Now! So usually my mornings when I'm going to go to work, I wake up, I ride my bike to work, so I put on my headphones and then I listen to Democracy Now! On my way. And so I still have the habit of listening to Democracy Now! But when we were first sheltering, I was starting to listen to too much news. I was like looking at the dumbass press from the White House. I was just watching too much.
Yeah,
And
you wanted to be
then,
informed.
yeah, I wanted to be informed, but I was too informed.
Yeah.
In a way, like, this is the part that's really frustrating, right? Like, we depend on others to give us information because we can't necessarily get it ourselves, at least in terms of we're not at the White House. We're not having conversations with people unless we are involved in medicine. We don't know what research is out there. So we depend so much on this information that we get. And there's so much out there. And I think from my perspective that I really try to find decolonizing ways of living. And I can't say, decolonization is a process. So I'm not an expert. I'm going through that journey myself. And what does it mean to be informed without being too informed and overwhelming myself? And I find that that's why it's important to have one source that can be trusted and then stick to that source, and then that's it for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Because it can weigh heavy on our spirit. It can weigh heavy, and I think in the circumstance that I'm in, it's really privileged. Like, I have a home, I have food, I have the love of family here, and so I'm really lucky. I'm really privileged. But I think about people around the world, or not even, I mean, I don't have to go far, a few blocks, and I see folks that are unhoused. And, you go to the grocery store, and I try to thank, when I do go, thank the people that are working, because, they're the ones putting their lives on the line. So I think for the heaviness, I remember how much I have, right? And how as complicated as being a person of color in this country is, and being a person with roots, that are indigenous to the Americas, indigenous to Africa, but also obviously European in there, that I have to come to terms that my existence is of imperialism, right? And I exist because this country has been imperialist because of colonization. And how do I reconcile that within myself? And I think it's a really powerful time to think about those things.
Yeah.
as we sit here
Mhm.
in our homes, and thinking that there are places like in Guatemala where people live in shacks, for example, next to garbage. Like how, and they're quarantined, like they can't go out.
Yeah.
So it's complicated,
Mm.
but finding that, or how do I say this? Mm, Knowing that I exist and I can think about these things is already um, powerful in of itself.
Yeah.
Because when we think about others, even just the thought is really about changing what dynamics already exist. That we can change this world, and it begins within ourselves.
Yes. It's so powerful. And with that, um, going with this energy right now, I want you to say, lead us into a prayer real quick. And then we'll, those in the comments, we're going to do an oracle reading after you lead us in a prayer. Um, wherever spirit leads you, let's go ahead with your prayer. you know,
I really went down one.
no, I just wherever it leads you. Um, so
Well, okay. So normally when I enter like the meditation space and prayer, I focus on really rooting myself into the earth. And normally I close my eyes. So I'm going to close my eyes now.
too.
And I like to feel myself rooted. And as someone who has felt unrooted most of my life, and I've just started growing my roots, I try to remember that my existence is because of resiliency, because there was love that I was carried forward. And that same love that brought me into existence brought millions, billions of people into existence. And when I connect with that part of myself that is eternal, that is part of this vast web of the universe, I feel like I'm not just within myself. I think about how my body is a home, and then I'm inside this other space, this other encapsulated space of home. And I think about my neighborhood and all the other homes there, the people, the lives. And I just keep moving outward, and I think about the grass and the networks underneath the earth, how everything is connected, how fungi help trees to communicate with each other, and how we connect with that, how that is vibrating under us, that it's vibrating through us, it's vibrating through all of us, that everything is always in motion. And even though March has felt like 100 years, that this time too is a time of reflection, that it's making us grow and hopefully tap into our humanity, the truth that we are all here to experience and care for each other and love each other. And to be thankful. To be thankful for this opportunity of life, because it's so fleeting. And we don't think about our mortality enough. We're not faced with mortality, and maybe that's why this whole situation is so shocking to us as a collective, as a humanity, because we rarely have to confront it. So, I mean, I think we rarely have to confront it in the way that we do right now, that it feels so uncontrollable, something we can't see. There's issues that we know that happen, that people have mortality, but right now it's something we can't control. And letting ourselves let go into that everything has a pulse in the universe, and that too, there's a lesson here that we have to gain. And I hope is that we all will wake up to the revolution to end this madness.
Well said. Yes. Oh, I'm a crybaby. So
I am too.
oh, it's my mess. Okay. Thank you for that. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So I guess are you
Do you want oracle readings?
yes. So those of you that are watching now, my friend here, I'm gonna do oracle readings. You could tell them how you're gonna do it.
Well, should we, I mean, do we want to do like a general oracle reading for everything and everyone? Or do we want to,
Okay,
does someone specifically want an oracle reading?
we can ask that. If you want a specific oracle reading, just post in the comments. We can see the comments, and they will do it for you. But I guess we'll start with the general one, and then if we see any comments, then we'll do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe, how about Ebony, you can ask a question for us as a community for our oracle reading.
Okay. Somebody just wrote a comment. Do you see the comment?
I hope I don't mess up your name. Is it Amanivi?
Yeah.
Amanivi?
Oh, yeah, that's my friend. They want a reading and they said May 16th. That's their birthday.
Okay.
We'll start with them. I'll think about that last question.
Okay. All right. So let's see. Do you have a specific question, Amanivi? If you do, Amonevi.
A.
A.
Yeah.
Amonevi A. A. Amonevi A. Okay. Thank you. Do you have a specific question? How about I pull a card and then we'll see if it speaks to you. So this is the card. It eats a papalot.
Oh.
It's, so what's ahead for my love life? Okay. All right. I've become a love oracle.
Love oracle. Kind of like the love guru.
Yes, come for all your love questions. It's where I have the success. So let's see. So you got the eats papalot, which is basically the butterfly, and it says it's the moment of transformation. So right now it is the time. Let's see. So this is a new oracle card set for me. So I'm going to read from the text for now and translate it as I speak. So it says, this is not your first time having a human experience. In this infinite existence, you have accumulated a lot of lessons that reside inside of you that you're still not manifesting in your life. Within you, you have brujas, which is witches, magic, and hechiceras. Hechiceras are magic makers or people that do spells. So your knowledge base is a lot larger than you think. You need to recognize that interior voice that speaks to you, your intuition, to bring all the power that you have inside of you to the forefront. Put aside all your confusion and keep transforming, because that needs to die will be reborn. So the life that you have chosen is of comfort, and you may have fear to change, but when you do, you will find abundance and you will not lose faith in your capacities, in your abilities. It is the moment to sacrifice the fear in your mind. When you put that fear aside, your strength and your power will awaken, and the earth and society needs you to remember it.
See the comment?
Oh, awesome. I'm so happy.
Can we do a love reading for them? Let's. Can you? Or was that the card?
That was it.
Oh,
That was the card.
okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
So you're welcome. Does anyone else want one?
okay, Nikki wants one. That's our friend Nikki. Who's
Nikki,
Hey, Nikki,
I
Boston.
miss
I was
you.
actually going to ask you to come on tonight to play your ukulele, but I thought you'd be
Oh,
asleep. Okay, so, but if you still want to come on, hit me up. You can text me. I can bring you on. We can do it real quick. You can do a ukulele thing. But okay, Nikki wants a reading.
all right, Nikki, here we go. Let's see. So, what does Nikki's life have in store for her? This is your card. Oh. It's Huitzilopochtli. The only struggle that exists is within yourself. That's your card. It says here, every day we have a battle with ourselves, a battle to be better, a battle to change, a battle to forgive ourselves and accept ourselves. The hummingbird, which has a very big heart in comparison to all of the rest of its organs, reminds us that this battle can only be won through love. that we all have aspects of ourselves that we don't like and we need to change. And so this message arrived to you because it's the moment to let go of those judgments and accept yourself. Because it doesn't matter how many things you want to change, the only way to change them is to accept that they are a part of you, and to ignore and to treat to ignore and to try to hide them and pretend that they don't exist does not resolve anything, because you can't resolve that which you don't think exists, that you don't know that exists. Make peace with yourself and accept yourself completely as you are. But also keep clear the things that you want to change, and then let them go and leave them behind. So it seems like you have some things to let go, Nikki. I don't know if that resonates with you, but it sounds like there's some aspects you'll need to forgive within yourself and accept.
Yes. Okay. I think we should do a community reading. Our
Okay.
community, yeah. So I'm going to ask. Um, oh, Nikki said
Oh.
real tears. Oh, tears,
Oh.
real. Wow. So my question for community, as in what kind of community? I want to be intentional. Um, are you saying trans community? Question.
It can be whatever community you're thinking of. So
Thinking of today's TDOV, Trans Day of Visibility, and I'm thinking of trans community, and I'm also thinking of acceptance in our future, and will we ever evolve in this society to be like we were in the days of old, in darker skinned cultures, we were revered. Will we ever evolve back to being held as sacred, as being seen as sacred people again? Is that a lot?
I feel like I don't need cards for that one.
Yeah. What about what's our future? Can I just be a general question like that?
Yes, I think
Uh,
our future for the trans community is to thrive.
mm,
Um, why, we live in a white, cishet, ableist, etc., etc., etc. society that kills, literally wants to destroy everything that it deems magical, part of the so-called irrational, right? Because white supremacy has defined the boundaries of gender.
yes.
And so anything that lives outside of that boundary has to not exist. But the thing is, we exist on so many intersections, and we exist because of love for ourselves, love for each other, love for community, that I believe, because we're here now.
Yes.
But I will pull a card anyway.
I'm going to ask you for one more thing too, because I want something personally. So I want to ask Oracle something personally. So
Okay.
Yes.
So let's pull out the community card and then we'll see. Oh, this is so perfect. Shinteloto. Which is the card of nutrition of the physical, mental, and spiritual.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So basically, it is a card that says how important it is to care for our well-being, to give nutrients to our spirit, our body, so that then we can convert this nutrition into action. Because the nutrition does not limit itself to the physical, but it surrounds us and it enters our body, and it also plants seeds. Our thoughts are like a diet of our mind, and they create the basis of our reality. Our actions are seeds that we then harvest later on, and we plant our future. And this is where we create exchanges with that we want to receive. We influence others that are around us, and we are examples of our habits and our values, creating a form of behaving ourselves that will nutrient. What's the word?
Nutrient.
When we English is failing me right now. Like when something's nutritious to your body.
I don't
Oh
know.
well. That.
Okay.
Yeah, essentially, like what I'm sensing from this card is like we really have to take care of ourselves, and by taking care of ourselves, we're really taking care of our community. We're taking care of making sure that it says here that so that we can continue walking on this earth, we have to realize the sacred that inhabits our consciousness. So, yeah, I deeply believe that this really resonates with the
Yeah,
needs of the community.
I feel it. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay. Giving me a look like you ready for me. Okay.
I am ready for you.
Okay. All right. Okay. Um,
What is your question, Miss Ebony Harper?
Similar to Omo V. Nay. I want to know, will I have a love life? Is love in my future? Maybe it's not.
Love is all around you already.
Oh, thank you. But I want a special love.
Define special love.
Partner. Is partnership in my future?
Partnership.
Yes.
My cards got all.
Oh, that's my partnership request.
No, maybe I got nervous.
See how that works? See? The oracle already befuffled.
No.
Yes.
Now let's see what the oracle tell us. Xochipilli.
What is Shapili?
Sochipili. That's the card. So
What's the translation?
Sochi.
What's the translation?
So Sochi is the flower. So I'm going to read this for a second.
Okay. Uh-oh.
No, it's not bad.
May not match. Okay. It may not match what I'm asking for. This could be something personal because the oracle does what the oracle want to do.
Yes.
A question and this say, you know what? We ain't gonna talk about that. We gonna dig deep.
Yes. That's what I'm trying to see if it applies. This is Blanca. So Sochi is a flower, and it represents love and beauty. Flowers are the place of flirtility. Of fertility. Fertility. So it's interesting. I guess I'm just kind of in awe of this just because we were talking about herbs earlier and plants, and then we talked about cannabis as being medicinal, and so it's really within that realm here. So I think it's more up to you to interpret like what it's meaning.
Okay.
It's talking about plants that that are used to open the divine. So it talks about like cannabis and tobacco and coca and mushrooms as being these plants that alter our consciousness because they open us to the divine and to the immateriality of our world. And that it has to be with great respect. I think it's interesting in terms of like, maybe when it's talking about love, I mean, of course, the cards never speak in yes or no.
Right.
But it seems to me like what it's saying is, just because of the way the conversation went today, is that this is something that is going to be cultivated. That it's a seed that you're planting or have been caring for, and that you're going to reach into its pleasure and its sacredness just because it's talking about the consumption of these plants that take you to the divine. So, and that they bring a state of meditative ecstasy. And so here it's recommending for you to inform yourself and create relationships with plants.
I have been. Yeah. I just got a plan. And there was nothing there, and now it's just starting to sprout. So like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, have you read Emergent Strategy?
No, I haven't.
It's a great book. The author is Adrienne Maree Brown. But the part that really stuck out to me the most is she says, what you pay attention to grows. That line stuck with me. And it's true. Like, when we focus our energy on anything, everything, I mean, I'm starting to relate the whole world to plants. So,
Yeah,
and it's true. Like when you pay attention, even right now with my little seedlings, like that's love.
that is love. Yeah.
And relationships with people, I think, are the same way.
Mm,
We can't abandon them. We plant these seeds and then we care for them. And some seeds take a lot longer to grow than others. But if we pay attention to them, if we care for them, we water them, put them in the sunlight, they grow.
yeah.
So I'm going to say yes. Your love life is going to happen.
A hard yes. Okay. All right. Well, thank you. I think we're gonna wrap up, and at the end of every, I guess these are shows now. I like to ask one word. Uh, one word that give me one word that you're getting from the universe. One word that you've been thinking about. One word that you're getting right now. Maybe you could get a sense. Maybe you have to feel it. But give me one word and then expound on that word.
Mm, the first thing that came to mind is grateful. I'm grateful to have this time with you. Um, I'm grateful for time. For time. Every day, every day has felt like a struggle for me personally. Really, really hard sometimes for many years. And so I'm really grateful for, it's so weird, but the peace that I feel right now. Like I have time. I have, and I have time in a positive way where I'm creating and reading and now like talking to you and sharing in this way with you, and I've had opportunity to share with others too in this time. And it really, I'm so thankful. And it feels weird to say how good I feel in a time that so many are suffering. But I think what a disservice it would be to not be grateful for the joy that I have. So,
Thank you.
thank you.
Gratitude. Gratitude as a spiritual practice. People of color have been practicing gratitude in the midst of the storm since the beginning. I think that's what has got us through. You know, you talked about the people living in huts in Guatemala. Some of those people are a lot happier than the people here with mansions. Uh,
Yes.
so, gratitude, gratefulness is a powerful spiritual tool. And I know it's kind of hard to find gratitude when everything feels like it's collapsing around you. I've been there. Uh, but if you can muster just a little gratefulness, because it is energy, it is energy. And that energy comes back to you. This is a, a transactional universe. So, you know, you put it out, it comes right back. And so, uh, all you're doing is giving gratefulness to yourself, really, because we're all connected to this thing.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. Anyway, that's your word. And I just
Oh
like
boy.
that word because I talk about gratitude as a spiritual practice. I love gratefulness. I think that's a powerful spiritual practice.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. It is.
Well, I guess we're coming to a close. Thank you for coming
Thank
on.
you.
Thank you for blessing us. And I'm looking forward for you to come back. Maybe we can even have a decolonization conversation. I love when you talk about decolonization. I'm waiting for your book. Okay. You got a lot of time. We won't be out of quarantine till June. You know, you could, or maybe even next year. So you got a lot of time. You could put together a picture book. You could put together some type of book. I'm waiting.
Well, actually, there's the zine, the community
Oh,
zine.
oh,
So if anyone wants to submit a page, I'm compiling it. I don't know how many folks are going to participate, but I'm compiling a community zine, and um, Olivia came up with the name Quarantine. So, and I just attached the quarantine life. So now it's like evolving. But anyways, that's the book I'll be compiling right now.
So how does that work? I don't even know what a zine is.
Oh, a zine is basically like a self-publication.
Okay.
So basically, folks can, well, you can email the Decolonization Project at gmail.com, and I can send you the instructions. Essentially, you grab like a 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, and you can fold it in half, and all the basically 5.5 inches by what, 8.5, yeah, like that. You fold it in half, and each one is a page, and you can do anything that you want. You could do a spread, and basically the topic is like, what are you doing right now during this quarantine? What self-care practices have you been engaging in? And honestly, it can be anything. It can be writing, it can be art, it can be comics. And the goal is we'll compile everyone's submission, and then I'll publish it online and then share it with everybody as much as possible.
How do people get in contact with you? You just gave the email. Do you mind people adding you?
Yeah, they can add me.
Okay.
Yeah, you can add me on Facebook. There's also the Decolonization Project page. So yeah, anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm here.
And
I'm not going anywhere.
you also do work with inmates and former inmates,
Yes.
and former inmates, former inmates. Art. You do art projects. So if you're watching this, if you're a former inmate, hit them up. They do art projects in prison. And I'm sure they would be interested in working with a former inmate with their work. So,
Always
yeah.
always looking to connect with community, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. All right, Chingona. All right.
Thank you. I love you.
I love you too. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye. All right, that was a powerful powerhouse. I love this person. So thank you. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for sharing your love. Thank you for giving us readings. Thank you for giving so much to community. We love and we appreciate you. All right. All right. I guess, what do we have next? I'm about to leave, but I just wanted to, give you a quick little, quick little, quick little thing. All right. So my quote is a good quote. And it's not super fancy. And the person is unknown, but it's, straight to the point like me. And it says, sometimes the people around you don't understand your journey. They don't need to. It's not for them. And I think that's a powerful quote for Trans Day of Visibility, because a lot of people don't understand our journey. And they don't need to. It's not for them. And I know in a time where people are tired of fighting, people are getting run ragged. I mean, we're fighting multiple battles in the midst of a global pandemic. We have to fight an administration, right wing, neo right wing folk all across this nation that's really focused on harming and causing more violence to our community. Why? Because we're an easy target, and because we seem powerless, but we are some of the most powerful beings on the planet. And being a trans experience is a blessing. It's a blessing. They may not see it. It's not for them to see. It is for you to see, and it's for you to find out and discover that you are one of the most powerful beings on this planet, because you are connected to something. Your trans experience is greater than you could ever know. It's a powerful experience. That's why people would come to us to bless their babies. That's why people would come to us for direction, even in a war. They would consult with their trans and gender nonconforming people. We operated as elders, and the trans elders would tell the future and all these things. So we've always operated in a capacity of caretaker of families, of the person that leads as far as direction goes. So that is a powerful spiritual tool. That's a powerful spiritual function. And so it doesn't matter what this world say. Those, black folks, brown folks, API folks, anything that white cis men deems as different on this planet is unacceptable. So right now, we just so happen to be the target. But I just wanted to send some love out there and some faith, and keep the faith, honey. Keep it moving. I know it's hard. I know these coronavirus days are hard. Some days are good. Some days are bad. You're tired of being in the house. You may want to go back to work. And I know it's bad, but this is a time to rely on each other, which is hard because we all lived in a box for so long. So some of us don't even know how to, reach out or feel like we're going to bug somebody or be a burden on somebody. But now is the time to form community. Now is the time to go within and do some real soul seeking. And also, for the people who are watching, I wanted to play this video for you about non-binary, and then I'll be closing out about non-binary folks. How do I share my screen? Right here. We're gonna do that. We're gonna share that. We're going to take that away. I got all fancy with this computer operation thing. See, we're going to put me at the bottom here. And we're going to watch this. And this is going to tell you about non-binary people. This is what I'm doing for Trans Day of Visibility. I want you to learn about this community.
There's a whole variety of experiences that people have that cause them to question, like, hey, maybe I don't actually fit into the definition of, man or woman, and that there's something else.
Hi, I'm Danny, and I identify as non-binary.
I'm Lindsay, and I identify as non-binary.
My name is Feng. I identify as non-gendered person.
I'm Francois. I identify as genderqueer.
My name is James, and I identify as non-binary.
Non-binary is someone whose gender doesn't fall within the context of the binary that we set up in society.
I am not male. I'm not female. I'm somewhere floating around in there.
Non-binary means acknowledging a wider range of experience.
For me, it means that I'm not identified with any specific gender, like male, female, or other things.
It's part of a larger kind of goal of questioning these assumptions about gender and questioning why there only need to be two.
It gives me the freedom to express myself. If I wake up one day and I want to spike my hair and do punk rock makeup, I can do it.
Every couple of decades, some designer decides that men's shorts are, suddenly 5 inches shorter or 5 inches longer. In the 70s, if you look at what men were wearing, they were like Rockettes, like shorts were up to here, and now it's like, get it, down to the knee. Non-binary is freedom from that whole game. It's like, I don't care what the men's department at Marshall's suddenly has decided that like men need to wear. I'm gonna go for what makes me feel more authentic.
I tend to say gender is dependent on context and point of view.
To me, it just makes me comfortable that I can just be this body that I have.
I identified as a cis gay male. Cisgender is when your gender identity aligns with the gender that you were assigned at birth based on your anatomy. I saw myself as a cis man and just thought, well, I paint my nails and I wear lipstick, but I'm a cis man. And I knew what genderqueer was and non-binary. I knew of them. And I was like, I support it, I love it, but it's over there. That's not me.
I identified as male before. I didn't really ever feel comfortable fitting into the masculine or male environments or just seeing myself as a man.
I've always had questions as a child. I always would put on my mother's makeup and her lipstick.
I identified quite a while before I came out to people.
I started identifying as non-binary when I was 17. I just knew that calling myself a woman and calling myself a girl did not feel accurate and did not feel good and did not feel like a home to me at that time in my life anymore.
Most people are still very confused about trans identity, non-binary, gender fluid.
Even though it's 2019, it's not something that everybody runs and like, oh, you're genderqueer, yay, hugs and kisses, we love you still.
The hardest thing about coming out at 17 is no one believes you. Everyone is like, wow, that's a really cute phase you're having.
Even when I'm saying what I identify with, people still have a specific imagination of what that means.
Most people are going to assume that you're one of two genders, a man or a woman. And so every single day, you have to be correcting them and you have to be declaring that you're non-binary to pretty much every new person that you meet.
People often misgender me. Like the second I leave New York, I get called ma'am, like to my face.
A lot of times people get pronouns right twice, and then I find it's often the third time that people start slipping.
A lot of people think that we're transitioning for some reason.
Some people say, oh, so are you going through transition right now? And some people ask me, so do you still have a vagina?
simplest way to ask about gender if you don't know someone is,
Hey friend, what are your pronouns? That's it.
A lot of us are very different. Some people are like, don't misgender me. And it's a big thing. And I understand that, really, I do.
Personally, I'm always very open and happy to talk to people about it.
I remember a few times I went on job interviews and I dressed like how I am. And I did very, very well in the first interview. And they're like, oh, you did so well. Just when you come next time, can you dress like a boy? It's especially challenging in dating.
No one really knows how to deal with you and whether they're allowed to be attracted to you, really.
Some people, they just say they want to date men.
the worst is whenever someone's like, well, yeah, but you have a penis, right? People will be very fixated with anatomical gender.
You can't be seen as heterosexual. You can't be seen as homosexual. And so when you try to date a girl, it's like, you're too feminine. You're not masculine enough. And you try to date a guy who's gay and he's like, you're not masculine enough, or you're too feminine or something. It's always something.
I think people's knowledge of this is definitely getting a lot better with time.
We're becoming more relatable. People are seeing us for who we are. And so I think that brings about this general air of acceptance.
I think the future of gender identity, hopefully, is one where we don't force the binary on everybody.
I think the future of gender identity is so much more like colorful and wide and different and like varied as we think it even can be.
I hope that the future will move towards more of individual expression rather than this mob mentality to follow the crowd to be like everybody else.
I definitely wish that we can all just pass through this phase of trying to categorize people and just take them as what they are.
Being able to reclaim our narratives, I think that's the next step, is that trans voices are the ones speaking for trans people and non-binary voices become the ones speaking for non-binary people.
Well, that is it. That's the end of that. I hope you liked it. As you can see, there was 5 different representations and 5 different explanations. And so the trans umbrella is wide. My trans may not look like somebody else's trans, and non-binary people fall under the trans umbrella. So back when I was young, trans was one specific thing, and now it's evolved into a lot of other things, or a lot of other classifications. So, but you know, I wish we had these labels when I was younger, because some people transitioned that maybe were non-binary. So there is a generational thing there too. But that's all complicated. I will invite somebody who can really explain that, because I'm not an expert at explaining that. I just wanted to educate people on Trans Day of Visibility, and also let people know that trans has a million different views. Each trans person is a different representation of trans. It's just like being Black. It's just like being Latinx. You know, it's just like having curly hair, you know. So we have an array of trans folk and how they show up on the planet. Anyway, I wanted to send love to you and thank you for being here with me. And I think I'm gonna play some music and play us out. Alexa, I love Alexa. Alexa, play Somewhere Over the Rainbow by Israel.
Over the Rainbow, What a Wonderful World Medley by Israel Kamaka Vivo Ole, starting now on Amazon Music.
Okay, this one's for Gabby. Dreams that you dream of once in a love
Sending you some heart. I know it's hard today, but hopefully I shifted your energy a little bit. Yeah. Loving you over here in this barricade in Del Paso Heights. Sending you love.